It's springtime. 80 degrees they're calling for today. I just got this pair of jet skis. My buddy Fred hooked me up with them, and they hadn't been on the water since 2019. He said one of them, he doesn't remember which, had some running issues. But today I want to try to get them fired up and take them out on the water. The Delaware River is actually very high right now, so we can go up further north and not worry about hitting rocks, take a bunch of side channels, provided they run. But this is a 1995 Yamaha Wave Venture 700. It's got the 701 engine, which is the same as in my Superjet 701 that I don't take out that often. But yeah, all there, looks fine. These are really good engines. Two-stroker, of course, or two-smoker. And no paperwork on this one, but it was registered in 2019. He couldn't find an old registration. Got a bill of sale, you know. So there's even a good looking battery in there. I'll pop that out and get it on charge, see if we got any voltage. Double trailer that's not rotted out. And then a 1997 Sea-Doo GSX. I believe this has the 780 Rotax engine. Bombardier. So which one is gonna be the one with problems? I would guess the Bombardier, but you know, that's just me guessing. Yeah, that looks all together and good too. All corroded, and I've seen some of these. I actually had one apart once where the head gasket was like, when the block was just trash, it corroded so badly. We got decent looking tires, lights on the trailer, we even have some gear in here. That's what I'm talking about. All right, water ready. Got a Deca from 2019, and over in the Sea-Doo, we got no battery. Made in Austria. How about that? Oh, this is the 787. Okay, it's a pretty good engine. Used to have a pair of those in a Sea-Doo jet boat I had. And the Deca battery's got 5.4 volts. And we'll just put it on repair mode for a little bit, assuming there's some sulfation after sitting. See if that comes back to life. I happen to have a good battery sitting right here from my STX. No key in this machine. Fuel's already on. I see the fuel tank's got like 5 inches down there, and it appears the oil injection is still hooked up because it doesn't seem to be premix. Ooh, steering cable's locked up, unless the something straps hitting it, but they're not. It's just all right. Well, let's see if we can fire it up. So no key, just pull up on this, and nothing. Looking down here, the exhaust, it's got some loose bolts, and it's missing all the bottom ones. Not sure what's up with that. Somebody just left it apart. Maybe this was the one with the issues. Got one of the safety switches here, or safety lanyards, whatever. Yeah, so these have a main fuse. That'll be the first thing to check inside of here. Yeah, that's blown and just came apart. Had a 10 amp in there. There it is. I guess this does have premix fuel in it, because that is the oil pump on the front of the cases there, and there's no hoses going to it, so that's been bypassed. Check our motor mounts. Oh, port side's torn. Lifting up a little bit. And that should definitely be replaced, because that'll wear everything else out, you know. Still got the spark arrestor screens underneath the airbox, no nests. Choke operates. Shoot just a little bit of oil down there before we crank it over. Oh, yeah. Sounds like a two-stroker. I don't know if you guys hear that, but I'll do a quick compression check on this. Oh, only 100 PSI up front. I mean, should be able to run with 90, so it's not the worst. I've ever seen, but should probably be more around like 140, 150, I would guess. And on the rear, yeah, 150. Front cylinder's got an issue going on. As you can see, this exhaust is just completely rattling around. So let me get that button back up. Barely hooked up at all. Took the one bolt and it just kind of fell apart. This part of the exhaust, very important, because water comes from the cooling system and, you know, showers inside of here and keeps the exhaust cool, because that's going into rubber after this. If it's not sealed properly, you're going to get water down in the hull, and then also exhaust gases in here and create a bunch of issues. You can see somebody gooped it up last time too, but I'll just do the same this time. Just a light skim of Permatex the right stuff around the whole thing. That'll be good as new. I also chased all the holes that were corroded for the threads. All back together. A few of the bolts were missing. They were where you would guess they'd be, underneath, down in the sludge under the engine. But I got some zip ties on the fuel hoses, since those were all missing, and I think this is good enough to let it dry and hit the water to see what it does. I don't know if the battery's charging or everything's working, but I guess at this point, let's throw the battery in the GSX while it's curing. The goal is to get to the river while it's still nice out. And so on this one, see, it's got oil in the oil tank and the hoses are all hooked up. I remember with these road taxes, it's not as easy to bypass the oil system, because it uses, I think, the oil for these little plates that spin around in the intake, or maybe it was for the bearings too, but you can't just bypass it. It'll destroy the engine, unlike the Yamaha. We're gonna just juice her and go, but these do take a key. I think it's just a magnet, really, like a special magnet key. I just looked everywhere, couldn't find one. I did find a good fire extinguisher though. That's nice to have. You know, if you push the button, it pops back up, you're good to go. Not that we're gonna be fully legit anyway, since I don't have all the paperwork. And you know, who goes and like registers old junky skis before you take them out and make sure they work? They should give you like a pass or something. And where we're going today, they can be a little tough up there. If you know, this is the time of year when they look for people just bringing unregistered stuff out, and they'll slap you with a bunch of fines. The steering's free on this one. This does have some switches up here though. Maybe they already bypassed the key or something. The start button just dropped down in there too. What the? There's nothing even in there. Yeah, okay, so somebody must have pulled the wires through and put them over here. Got one on the bottom too. Yeah, we got a whole bunch of just haggard wiring going on up here. And cut wires. And it almost looks like a newer computer. Definitely a new regulator rectifier in there. Missing a fuse too. I pulled this E-box apart. Just hot wired on the solenoid there. And yeah, I don't see any wires going for all these switches. They seem to all be for the VTS, whatever that is, variable trim, I guess. And the bilge pump that somebody added, I don't see anything tying into the main harness. So maybe I'll have to give Fred a call later, see what kind of thing they did with that and all these switches. Let's see if it cranks over with a jump pack. Yeah, sounds pretty good actually. Looks like this has a main fuse in it too. Yeah, it's good though. Okay, now the key switch is still hooked up. I just did some quick research, and this has got DES, Digital Electronic Security System by Sea-Doo, and apparently it is not bypassable. It's got 3 wires coming off that switch, and I was just looking through some forums. People said you can't bypass them, so I don't know if that's true or not, but I guess you got to bring your proof of registration to a Sea-Doo dealership, and they'll give you a new key. So yeah, until I get that, I guess this one, at least we know the engine rotates freely. It sounds like good compression, but let's take the Yami out. We got a half tank fuel bilge pump hooked up, and I gave that a smack. It's working, so in case she's taking on any water, Jump pack, fire extinguisher, whistle. I think we're good. Can we just talk about the storage on these two skis? Like on the Yamaha, you get this nice little, this is like a cooler. You could put the ice and beer in there. Well, sorry, soda for sure on the water, right? And then up top, you get this deep thing. And this guy, that is just huge. You could even stow away some other supplies down there. On the Sea-Doo, you have nothing. No storage back here. You could cram some things if you wanted to. And then you get this puny little guy up front, which, you know, one is a toolkit and one's for your fire extinguisher. Fire extinguisher's under the seat on that one. And I mean, you could stow some things in there, but that's pretty nasty compared to the Yamaha staying nice and clean up there. Yamaha's way better. I forgot about the steering. Come on. Tight. I don't want to bend the, there's little rods in here. You can snap them off if you force it. Oh, here we go. You gotta go on left. Good enough to take down a NASCAR track, right? I got it good enough. If you go full right, it locks, but it's much better than what it was. Yeah, that already went up in value. Last step, I'll throw a little grease in these hubs. Got the trailer lights working. Everything's looking good. Both the drain plugs are MIA, but fortunately, 3/8 MPT seems to fit the bill. The river's at a real nice level, 12.9 feet on the Trenton gauge. And 54-degree water temp. No debris and logs floating down the river. Perfect. And just for reference, on that same Trenton gauge, the lowest I'll bring a jet ski out is like 8.5, maybe 8 feet. But anything less than that, or when you're down there, you got to really be careful about where you go. A lot of big rocks out in the river that'll, you know, crack your hull. Pulling into the Yardley boat access. Still a free ramp. Imagine that. The fishing gang really like to hang out here though and bust chops. Is she taking on any water? Yeah, seems good. We got that bilge pump, I'm not worried about it. Just going for it. You normally can't come in when the water's at a normal height, but right now, I mean, there are some trees we could hit, but otherwise fine. Seems to only want to run on half choke too. I don't think it's got enough fuel. Probably needs a fuel pump, or you know, the carburetor's a little gunked up. I gotta keep the speed down a little bit in here because there are some just massive boulder boat killers. what's nice about having a ski you don't care about, though. Wow, this even blocked off here with trees. Ah, come on. Okay, we passed the tree. Whoop, we beached it. Oh, that's okay. I wanted to take a break anyway, but you see what I'm saying? As you're coming through here, it's hard to know where you're going to beach it and where you're not. And there are just some big old boulders, and of course you stall right there, you're running into that tree. I mean, it's but it's beautiful. I really want to get a jet boat, something you can just hammer off over all this stuff. It'd be great. I think I'll get on the marketplace and start looking, but you guys seen the aluminum jet boat prices? Insane. You know, for like 15, 20 grand is the minimum to get something decent. And I'd like to get a haggard up one, but you just don't see them pop up too often. Does reverse work? It does. How about that? 240 hours on it too. Might have to do the old-fashioned carburetor clean cover. Oh, come on. Baby. We could keep going further up, but you need a reliable rig to be doing it. You gotta get out in the wide open, a little bit more forgiving, you know? Doing the old-fashioned carburetor clean, you know, pull vacuum on the intake, see if that helps. I did that a little bit in the driveway, but it'll be better on the river here. And by the way, this is one of the worst things you can do for two-strokes. I mean, if you have a fueling issue, you should take care of it, because if it's not getting enough fuel, it means it's not getting enough oil. There's the second cylinder. Getting enough gas at all. So now I'll just rock it on half choke. We made it 10 miles upriver to New Hope, and this thing kind of does a nice speed. Doing 35 the whole time, and all the ducks and geese are flying with you. You can see them swooping down, riding, you know, close, getting that lift off the water. And we could go up through these rapids at this level right now, but it's kind of rough, and this thing's, you know, running questionably. As soon as you let off full throttle, it just dies out. So. buddy. This guy living like a king here on the river.
You're living like a king on the river. You're flying around your
1995. Wow, dude, my man. How high was the water when it last flooded?
At the height, it was an inch from the top of the stair. You might even be able to see the line. You can see the line, I think.
Inch from the top of the stairs. So to give you guys an idea, I mean that's a lot. And it's going up.
It has gone in.
Yeah,
dude, did I show you the water line in the garage?
I think you did when you first got, yeah.
Around the garage, yeah.
Crazy. I had a good time hanging out with them for a bit. Check out the wall they put up many years ago. It's holding up good. This is made with river rocks. Pretty sweet. Free materials right here, you know? Like 5 minutes to sundown, so I gotta get back. That was fun. I guess get some pictures and get these up for sale. And next day, I want to do another cold compression check on this. See if that front cylinder came back up at all. And I just heard back from Fred. He said his nephew is going to look for the key and registration for this one and the key for the Sea-Doo. Now, I just listed these up cheap on Marketplace because I don't have a ton of storage. But you know, if I get the key for that one, that'll be great. And I don't think I'm even gonna mess with the carburetor on this. You know, hey, it runs. Time is money, and storage is money in my case. Yeah, see those brand new plugs? Looking pretty sooty, so we were getting plenty of fuel and oil to that cylinder. Oh yeah, that came back to life, 150. So it was just low from sitting maybe. So I was just gotta wait to hear back from Fred on that. And by the way, you guys may have even heard of him. He owns a company called One Pack over in Edison, New Jersey, and Power One soap. He sent me some of this. It's really great. It's got a little walnuts crushed up in there and cleans your hands like nothing else. Now, if you guys are looking for a good heavy-duty soap, consider checking them out. And thank you, Fred, for the soap and for hooking it up on the jet skis. Hopefully I can turn those around for a little profit. You know, probably better off holding on to them for another month. You guys, everybody wants it's 85 every day. You know, everyone's got the jet ski fever. Not quite there yet with the 50-degree water. So these skis are off to their new owner, Kyle over here. He cruises on the Delaware too. What's your plan with them?
Possibly a jet jump project, but I have a wave raider with a 701, so I'm gonna upgrade that to the Wave Venture. So
cool, because this has got the 62T, the same engine, right?
Same
basically.
motor.
Cool. You said a Wave Jump?
The Raider, the little tiny guy.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Cool. Yeah,
so
I mean,
got a lot more storage and whatnot.
Well, glad to see them going off to somebody who's gonna, you know, do something more than I did, and
yeah, you'll see him out there.
I'll see him on the water.